Wagwan, Mr. Maps.
Yo, I come back.
Welcome back. You're alive and kicking.
Hey man, I'm nice. It's good, it's nice. Not even gonna lie, yeah. Disappointed to be back. Mans was in paradise.
Hey, itiyazi umuntu. Anzi disappointed. but not anything.
Listen, fam. I was in paradise, guys. I mean, look, for the listeners.
Eventually holiday.
Mans was on holiday in it. And it was listen, I could literally spend the the episode just talking about my holiday. Seychelles is a stunning place. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
I think it even goes to a higher level when you live in a desert. Like the appreciation of just the vegetation, like just that alone. Wow. Like, I genuinely only came back home for my son. Like that was the only reason. I was like, look, let me get on this flight. But if it weren't, if there was just a little bit more Ndebele in me, bro, I would have dished him. I would have gone to fetch the milk and never come back. Like it was that much of a vibe.
Umuntu yanyamalala one week later. I was so straight, guys. It was so amazing. So amazing. I almost left my child.
Bro, that nigga almost had to figure his own life story out.
Yeah, Mr. Mopos. Okay, no, but welcome back.
No, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
This is reality.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it is reality. But for anyone, guys, look, especially, you know what's funny? I was nervous because I polled two of my friends who had been to Seychelles, one guy, one girl. Both said, do not recommend. It's too expensive. There's not much to do. Like, go to Zanzibar. They're like, it'll be the same shit and you'll spend a lot less money. That was the essential review I got from these guys, right? And these are people who had traveled to Seychelles respectively, within one went in July, the other went the year before, I believe, sometime last year.
Yeah.
So me, Pagati inside, I'm a bit concerned. I'm like, man, we just dropped a lot of cash. Like, it's gotta work out, right? As genuinely, like, I really hope this thing fires. But I said to myself, man, I'm tired. I need to recharge. So even if it's just lazing on the beach for a whole week, I'm okay. I'm cool.
You're
right. And yeah, the night before, I'm on TikTok and I'm just scrolling through like different, the beauty about TikTok is like whatever you need, doc, whether it's food recipes, locations, whatever, like there's someone who's put out a video on anything that you could think of, right? So I'm putting in Seychelles holiday. Let's see what the people got up to, what would be cool for, Upebi and I to do. So I'm looking and then I see this one black girl, I think she was from Kenya or something. She was giving Slay Queen. I don't know if she's a Slay Queen or not, but she's like, hey, I've been to the Seychelles multiple times. Why are you people profiling black people? Because she thinks because she was black, they sent her to like another line and all the white people went in another line, right? Like for extra scanning or whatever, right? So I see that the night before. I'm like, ish. I didn't know people from Seychelles, Gantila, or they twerk for the white man. So I'm a bit disappointed. We get on the flight.
Who doesn't actually? Being honest.
No. Wait, hold on. Trust me. So we get on the flight. We land. Everything is standard up to that point. And although I will say I was a bit. My wife likes to watch her media and shit, like movies and whatever. Netflix, she prefers to use her laptop rather than an iPad, right? We have iPads in the crib because for me, it's like if I'm not watching on the TV, it's just the iPad is built. iPad is my personal favorite media device. Life is efficient with an iPad, right? So anytime before a
Okay.
trip, I download everything that I need to entertain myself on the flights, any movies, any shows. I pay for my YouTube, so whatever, Talk Sport, all that shit, right? So like I'm spending time curating this shit, dog. My wife goes, so I can't download Love is Blind on my laptop for some reason. It's not working. So can you download it on your iPad and I watch the Ndondonis on the plane? And I'm like sitting there like, ma'am, I'm curating entertainment for myself on this very same iPad. How is this going to work? But obviously, because as in daughter, you must, it's like she's asking, but it's just like kind of like, okay, fine, you're gonna give her your iPad. So that happened.
They bounced you.
I had to give it up. So I was like, okay. Luckily,
you're trying to dress it up as if it's some chivalrous act when you were
no, listen,
you were bounced.
it's just one of those things. Like any man in a long-term relationship or married knows it's chief. Just give it up. Just give up the thing. There's no fighting. It's just kind of like, sell it like, no, baby, I got you. That's even better. That's even better. That's even better for you. Right?
It's trying to disguise it as chivalry. I think that's what's killing. It's like, yeah, I know. So as the daughter that I am, I'm listening to the story going,
yes, absolutely. As the person who loves my wife so much, I was like, you know what? I'll give up my iPad for you on this particular flight. I don't know if it was a shitty airline. I don't know. I don't know what would have happened. But luckily, much like Kanye said, I guess we'll never know. So, I mean, it's just a 4-hour flight. So for most of it, I literally fell asleep and listened to music. So it was cool. It was cool. It was cool. So anyway, we fast forward, we land, right? Hey, bruh, we get off the plane, and I'm like, damn, this is Seychelles. It was a beautiful sunny day, blue ocean, blue skies. Like, oh man, I'm excited. I'm like, everything that I had worried about before immediately disappeared, and I was like, nah, this shit is lit. Right. So then we get to customs, and then as we approach customs, you know how like in the airport, there's always that person who's sorting people when at this line, there's that person, right?
Yep.
So like we were on an Emirates flight, so it's obviously a very, very white people centric flight, right? A lot of Makiwas on the plane, and very few. I think us black people were probably like 5% of the passengers. So these Makiwas get into a long line, and I'm like, okay, we're foreigners too, so we're probably going to need to follow them. The lady stops us, local, lady from Seychelles. They call them. We were actually discussing with my wife, like, what are people from Seychelles called? Apparently, it's Seychellois. That's a person from Seychelles. Because we were like Seychelles, like I don't know. Anyway, whatever. Side note. So this lady jumps up in front of me and says, Chief, Ngena to the right. Meanwhile, 3/4 of the plane is being told left, right? So right side, very short line, single 10 or something like that. Left side, it's like 50 niggas in there, right? So I'm like, okay. Say less Masalu, I'll go to the right. We get to the line. My wife is now nervous. She's just like, babe, everybody else on the plane is on the left side, and Tina, we're on the right side. It looks like we're on the line for residence. And I'm like, okay, fair enough. You are right. Because it was like literally, it was segregation, which I didn't know. I don't know if it was intentional or not. It was funny because we're now with the residents, right? So then he looks at me and my wife, goes, go in with the locals, right? So like now we're chilling there, and then the line is getting longer because people are still deboarding the plane. And I'm just sitting there like, in my mind, I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna queue with all these other twios. Like that's not happening. We're literally 5 people away. We can, so the inner ducky in me goes, nah, me, I'll negotiate, bro. Like even if the guy gives me attitude at the counter, we're gonna figure out some shit. He's black, I'm black, we're gonna figure out some shit.
We're gonna work it out.
My wife is she's a goody two shoes. So she's already nervous. Like when your person really wants to do something else, right? She goes, no, babe, look at how many people are in line. I just don't want us to get in front. Hey, this is the wrong line. I'm like, but babe, technically, I didn't get us here. We were told by that lady there to use this. She goes, no,
the specific line.
So basically, she's nervous, and then she's at a point where so now I'm now worried because I'm like, fuck. If we get told to go to the other line and we have to start from the back.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, I'm in the doghouse the whole vacation. That's kind of what I'm like. Fuck, I'm now stressed internally because I'm like, yo, listen, I'm excited. She's excited. We don't need to be kicking off no vacation on the wrong note, right? Because it's my judgment call.
Okay.
And this is the smart thing that women do. Like, I make the decision, but just know, like I'm coming for your ass if you're wrong. That's basically what it is,
Mm-hmm.
right? So me, I'm like, all right, cool. You know what? I'm gonna stand on business, right? It's cool. We'll figure out this shit. So me, I'm like, no. We're staying with the locals, right? I was like, shacking. And I'm like, right. Then there's this one, there was a blue passport, which I don't know, it was American or whatever, whoever else has blue passports. This person's also in the line with the locals. She gets a passport stamp, no issue. And I was like, look, babe, you see, there was someone there who's not necessarily local.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. She goes, oh, all right, sharp. I'm like, cool. So we get to the front of the line, right? We get to the counter, check the owner our passports. And then he looks at us, looks at the passports. He's like, this line is for residents. I'm like, my babo. So now, I didn't even turn to look at my wife because I was just like, I know she's seething on the inside, right? I'm like, I ain't looking at you, bro.
Mm-hmm.
So I look at the customs officer. I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, yeah, but chief, your colleague, she directed us to this line. And he goes, yeah, the reason she probably did that is because you guys look like us. Then in my mind, I'm like, hey, they not like us. They not like I was just thinking that way. So he's like, all right, cool. Anyway, I'll dinner your items. I'm like, all right, say less, bro. And then that was it.
Mm.
Went in, we got our bags, and then we fucked off to the hotel. So again, moral of the story is trust and development. That is the moral of the story.
Mm-hmm.
The Ndebele intuition will never lead you wrong, right? Guys, Qinisana Makanda, all of this stuff is negotiable. Opara kuphela will be the only ones who go to the back of the line, right? You must be smart in these things. So I got away
Yeah.
with it. We remained happy.
Yeah.
We had organized transport from the hotel at the airport. Got picked up in a Hyundai Ioniq 5. I hadn't seen it in person. It's a really cool car. It's a
I
really,
don't even know what that is.
it's a, I don't even know how to describe it. Think of a Nissan Kicks. Have you seen that?
What is that?
Oh my God. Senna. Like it's not a hatchback, but like that, that weird car that's not a hatchback, but bigger, designed like a hatchback, but slightly bigger, but not really an
Is that a
SUV type
Honda
thing.
what?
Ioniq 5.
So that's a Honda what? Ioniq 5.
Yeah.
Pictures. Let's see.
It's dope. It's a dope little car. I like it. It's I'm not personally convinced on electronic vehicles yet, but I will say the interiors of electric cars are pretty dope most of the time, and it wasn't any different for this Honda. So I was like, okay, I like it. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. But yeah, I was gonna say regarding Seychelles, the one common thread between the two people I asked is that they went single to the Seychelles. I think it is kind of boring if you don't have someone with you. For that type of it's a very honeymoon
on most
destination
holidays like that.
I think there are certain
on most holiday
places
destinations like that.
No, I feel like there are certain places where it's like you can do a lot of activities by yourself, right? You can go to like freaking, I don't know, Thailand or some shit and, backpack and be a nomad and do this, and the third. But this is
live in the mountains.
Yeah. This Seychelles is there's lots of activities, but it's just like, and I don't know, for me, I feel like me and you are on the same page in terms of holidays in general, no matter where you go. I'm not a solo traveler. That's not, it'd be kind of boring for me. I want to, talk with someone. I want to share the experience and like socialize, right? I want us to have a good time, right? So that's just my default setting in general. I am not good at
same.
this, I don't know, man. Just imagine just kind of flying to France and you're just there by yourself in Paris.
And then you experience it. You go, you sit at a restaurant, you meet new people. I guess
who's taking your pictures, bro? Like every 2 seconds. Sorry, hello. Do you mind? Come on, dog. Like it's
yeah. So it's either strangers or to an extent you will, because what's big now is travel groups, like people who, like, I know lots of African women are doing this because the honeys like to travel. So whenever it gets to like this period where it's like summer in Europe, they'll fly to the Netherlands, to France, wherever, etc, all these places. The only difficulty for me, I think, is safety, for women especially. So you're going to travel
You
by
mean
yourself.
oh, okay. So as a solo traveler?
Yeah, as a solo traveler, especially
Okay.
as a woman, you travel to Europe and then, I don't know, something happens, you just need to have someone. So what people started doing now is traveling in groups. So you've got like, oh, we'll go all five of us to Europe and then Lee squad. But even then,
Squad is a
still
squad of strangers, or is this like the homies planet trip?
right. So in some instances, it's homies. Like you get together with your friends in a WhatsApp group. You're like, girlies, let's go to
That's standard.
to Paris. I say girlies because I don't think guys do this, to be honest.
No,
And
we
then you
try,
can go
but
as
we
a
always
squad.
fail. As guys, there's
Okay.
been many a group chat created, and yeah, it's a tough one, that one.
Yeah. Um. So with that, right? So you can either go as a group of friends, but some people, because maybe your friends can't afford to go with you, or you know that your friends are flaky, you end up just finding like-minded people on social media. And Hambelonge, you create a WhatsApp group. You don't know each other. You become friends on the trip. That
Yup.
to me also sometimes is like, now we're getting
Yeah,
to
that's
know
kind
each
of
other in
wild.
a foreign country. No, it's fine. So
No, but that one is not bad though. Like if it was if there was like an app, and then it's just like, travelers can get together and it's like, all right, cool, all going to wherever. I think it would be cool. Like you're bound to, let's say it's a group of 6 or 7, you're bound to find someone who you connect with. Right. Yeah, yeah. It's just, yeah, I don't know. There's no way saying I can walk into a room of 7 guys and like none of them you gel with. Like, come on, dog. Like, how weird are you? Yeah, I feel like you could find a but, and that's typically what happens, right? You get to anything, you get to work, you get to school, you get to wherever. Like, there is a person that you end up bonding with. And it goes from there. So I do get it, but I'd say 100% Seychelles, go with someone. Obviously better if you go with a romantic partner, but even if
yes.
it's with the homie, I think you'd still definitely have a good time, because there's a lot of things that just, it's better to experience together. Like, hey bro, that place is beautiful, man. And then it was one of we stayed at your Constance, there we go, it's called Constance Ophelia Hotel.
It
And
sounds like someone's name.
it probably is. It probably is. But like, what stood out to me about that hotel is, how I said earlier that, there's places where you go where black people are twerking for white owners. It was almost the opposite in the Seychelles with their crew, right? Like, they were excited. It's like, hey, yo, niggas, right? That was the genuine excitement on their side. So anything that you asked, they were always helpful. Like, it was like, you could tell, like, there's an actual difference. I'm doing my job, and then there's the, nah, for y'all. You know what I mean? I got you. You show up, it's like, hey guys, these drinks are on the house. Don't worry. Like, there was just a lot of exceptions that were made to kind of get our holiday to the next level. And I was just like, nah, shout out to y'all, bro. Like, I mean, I feel like that's how it should be. You know what I mean? Like, if I worked at a hotel and other, claboons show up, like, hey, like, I got you. You're all my guys. You know what I mean? Like, so that's definitely something I was like, nah, like, to me, you know how, like, generally it doesn't come into my mind like, oh, like, I need to tip someone. Like, it's not the first thing I think of, like, I want to tip you, unless the service is next level. I was walking around like, man, trying to give this money away, bro. Like, it was that good in terms of service. Like, and I feel like that's how it should be. So shout out to Constance Ophelia, because it's an amazing hotel. We got an hour every day of free water activities. Like, it was very, like, it felt like being in a place where capitalism is not the primary goal, which is very abnormal for a hotel chain of this scale.
Refreshing.
Very refreshing, bro. Very, very refreshing. I was like, what? Like, the first thing was not money. The first
Okay.
thing was experience, Like, how do you feel, dog? Like, are you good? Are you relaxed? Like, what? No, no, maybe I'm going back. But personally, hey, listen, with or without my wife. The next week I'll be on a flight, bro. I'll be on a flight back to where's visa free. Ah, come on. Like, yeah. But yeah, shout out to the Seychelles, man. Like, whew, wow. I'm so happy. I nah, like it's Duke. It's Duke. I'm okay. Me for tonight, I'm okay. I think, but anyway, I don't want to get carried away, because I'll keep going and going and going. So we we have a we have a long list of things. Oh, actually, I just realized there was one thing that I wanted to bring up about the Seychelles, about our holiday. So on one of the days we did an island hopping day. So we went to Pralin and Ladig. Ladig is the one that everyone sees on Instagram. To be honest with you, very, very honest, Ladig looks better on Instagram. That's just to me personally. Like it was dope. It was great to be there. But like I was like, kind of sold a dream with this one. So I was kind of like, whatever. Like Pralin was actually a more fun island for me. The beach was better. But anyway, when we right now, because Andy, the Seychelles are in the southern hemisphere, it's the winter-ish, but it's winter for them translates to the windy season, right? So it was a bit windy, meaning the ocean waters are choppy as fuck, right? A bit aggressive on
not
the
cold.
side. Not cold. No, not cold at all.
Okay.
Not cold at all. Like it was the average temperature was 25 to 27 degrees. That was average. It was perfect, dog. Perfect. But they're now, so on the island hopping day, we had to get on this ferry, right? Because the main island is Mahe. So we get on this ferry. It's a 1 hour boat ride, big boat, to Lokuzen, to Pralin. And then Pralin is like 15 minutes from Leydig Island. But anyway, in my mind, I'm like, okay, it's a big boat. This shouldn't be too much of a hassle. You know, we're gonna get in because we were on the boat like at 8 a.m. is when we were leaving. And I was like, okay, cool. 8 to 9, I'm still a bit sleepy. You know, we'll fall asleep. Moyo. You know, when someone when you reflect on scripture by yourself, bro, like, you know the story in the Bible when they said that shit was lit on the vat
on the Bible,
and Jesus, the disciples were like, Jesus, wake up! Like, have you seen that TD Jakes clip? Wake up, wake up out of your sleep! Like that was me. I was looking back, dog. Like, yo, where is Jesus, man? Because that boat was wild. Bruh, when I tell you that my guts were rearranged and it was not like, yo, bro, it was peak. Like, so they had guys, they had like, I think 6, 7 crew members on the boat, right? And for the last 30 minutes of the trip, all they were doing was taking, you know how like you have the puke bags in front of you, like in the little pocket in front of you, right? If you throw up.
Yep.
They were just collecting puke bags from passengers and chucking them at the back. That was for 30 minutes straight. People were throwing up, dog. That is how wild the waves were on that trip. Like,
I can't imagine.
I'll send you a video. You know, it was peak.
When I'm on like these cruise boats and whatever, I always feel like the choppier the water, the better. It's when it calms down and then you're like still, and then it like lulls you. That makes me nauseous.
Nah, give me that. Give me the calm shit. Say that, bruh. Things was upside down, bruh. Like that was violently hitting the windows of the boat, and I was there like, Ernst, what are we doing here? Like, but I will say, there were of the passengers, again, about 10% of us were black, right? Didn't see no black person throwing up. None of us. So all those allegations about black people and water, I ain't taking shit from nobody. Because guess what?
So our problem is not
the white people that were throwing up. That was it. So I was like,
No,
it's okay.
our problem is not boats. You know, we've been on boats for time. Our problem is swimming in the water. That's what black people don't do.
Nah. Me personally, I don't want to hear shit about it. If you can't sit on a boat and keep your shit together, don't be coming at us and telling us shit. That's all. That's the only reason I told the story. I was smiling from ear to ear, seeing all those puke back. Hey, but actually, I take that back because there was this one girl. She probably looked like she was in her teens or something. She was with her family. Hey, bruh, girl was going through it. She was like a few rows in front of us. Like at first, it started off as me. I was laughing. And then like after
Mm-hmm.
like 10, 15 minutes, bro, after bag number 4 had to be thrown away. Ha! I was like, Karichege, like, did you have like a full breakfast or something? Because most people skip
Hey,
breakfast because we got picked up from the hotel at 6 a.m. So most people skip breakfast. And they're like, okay, when we get to the
yeah,
island,
but
we'll figure shit out. But yo,
you know how others be. She want a full English and a full whatever or
no,
cereal.
the
You know, people who
sausages,
can't start the
eggs,
day
and
without eating.
bacon, they went in reverse gear, bro. Reverse gear. And I was like, it's peak. It's peak. I ain't seen that much throw up in a very, very long time. Just that was. But anyway, yeah, no, guys, please, if you're gonna go to Seychelles in August, please be aware the waters are choppy as fuck. And it's not 1 hour on choppy waters. And I swear, please just try. Go if you can book your next trip around this period. I genuinely,
Mm-hmm.
if I was rich, I'd fly you out there just to go on the boat trip and be like, tell me, it was that wild, bro. Like I was looking out for,
So that
and
one.
if we go to another Bible story, hey, bro, this is a very Bible centric episode. You know, same thing. Jesus was on the vat, walking on water, right?
Yeah.
Do you know how wild it would be? Obviously, because you haven't seen the waves that I saw. But like to me personally, if I saw Jesus walking on that type of water, I'd be scared.
Mm.
I'd be petrified. Petrified. You
You
know,
wouldn't.
like
It wouldn't go on.
yeah. You'd sooner start, talking to I'm a Luzangini, bruh, because you'd be like, what what is going on, bruh? Like, yeah. Me, but I saw that day, bruh. I'm not even gonna lie. Yeah, I'm just saying I'm not doing it again. Like, I was apologizing to you, like Jesus. I don't know. It's my wife's fault. She booked this trip. She's the one who made us go on this. Me, I just wanted to go to the beach. Now, Jesus, me, I just the beach. That's all. That's all that I. This thing of now 1 hour in a boat, like, you know what I mean? Like, see, it's the 1800s.
Mm.
The fuck am I doing on the boat, man? Like, I was
Hey,
concerned. I was concerned. But anyway, all right. That's it.
but wait,
I
you got me started with this Bible. What's the craziest Bible story you ever heard? Like just before we move on to the next thing.
I don't know, man. There's so many stories in the Bible. I don't know. I can't think of the craziest because there's just
Mm.
um the funniest. The funniest though to me.
Could be funniest.
I'd say the funniest to me is when Peter was denying Jesus and then Kuku kept coloring. That would have been so funny to me. Like if I knew what
Like
was going on, like if I
before
could
the
be
cock crows, you would
transported,
have denied me 3 times,
bro,
and it happened.
bro. Like if I just wish I could have just sat because I would have not been able to keep contained in that. People would have looked at me like, Chief, are you okay? And I'd have just
Mm.
been dying laughing, bro, with that Goku just coloring, bro. I was like, no,
There's
that
there's
would have been hilarious.
there's so many things in the Old Testament which I look at and I'm like, that was brilliant. Only in the sense that um only in the sense that a few years ago I tried to read the Bible like a novel. So you know, like when you sit down from page one
Why
and
am
you're
I not
like,
surprised?
yeah.
Why am I not? Actually, I thought about doing that a few days ago.
I,
I was like, you know
I
what?
tried it. I tried it a few years ago.
Mm,
The Old Testament is wild, fab. Like the Old Testament,
mm,
yeah. From I'm not even going to like the things we're taught, like Noah's Ark and
mm,
and all of the things they taught us at school and at catechism and whatever.
mm.
Like there's the cute stories, Noah's Ark and
Yeah.
and all.
The Israelites and them, Moses split in the
Yeah,
water.
But how come our teachers never told us about the David and the soldier's wife? You know,
I knew you were gonna talk about hoes. I knew it. I knew. I was like, this thing. If he's not talking about David, it's either what's that other one? Jesus is homie in the New Testament.
no, bro.
Magdalene.
Them man. Oh yeah, Jesus is. Well, apparently, well, hey, guys, Mina personally. Oh, if you're like sensitive religiously, maybe like skip this part of the
This
podcast.
guy, Jesus is homie from the other side of
His
town.
homie, yeah, his friend.
You
It was
saved
his
her.
boy.
You saved her. J. Cole don't save him. Jesus said, "We don't
was,
save him, bro."
You know, if Jesus had a funeral, it should have been that I'm crying more than anyone else. Wasn't she like first at the? Wasn't she first at the tomb? Was it her? Mary Mag was, I think it was Mary Magdalene, Mary Mother of Jesus, and I forget who it was. But anyways,
yeah, I know
I digress.
His mom's was there, but like, yeah, I might need to brush up.
The one thing I wanted to say was that them also in the Bible had a pen. You know how they described women? It was amazing, dog. From David and I forget the woman's name, the one that he was lusting over to the extent that he sent her husband
like
to die.
or something like that.
Yes, Bathsheba, I think. Or even the way they describe Queen of Sheba. Queen of Sheba, I mean, apparently she arrived to Jerusalem at some point with camels bearing spices, very much gold and precious stones, and apparently she took everyone by storm. Even the way they describe Delilah, Samson and Delilah. The way they describe Delilah, she was perfect. She put Samson's head on her thighs, and then that's how she was able to cut off his locks. Like it goes on. Like Rebecca, the woman who married Jacob, she put his head on her thighs and then cut off his locks.
Oh, I know. You see, that's the problem. Samson is you know, for anyone who's about to collect their first baddie, that's a story for y'all. Read on Samson. When you first baddie syndrome is you know, it can leave you in a rather precarious position. But Lapo, King David was tempted upon seeing Bathsheba bathe in her courtyard from the roof of his palace. He had her brought to her chambers and had sex with her, resulting in pregnancy. That's wild, bro. That is wild. David was hoeing, bro. Like David was wild.
No, David was next level.
No, David was wild, bro. He was a wild boy. Nah, man.
Like there were many of them.
Is elite. The pen game in
no, it's powerful.
The pen game in the Bible is elite, my guy.
There was the story of, I'm not sure if this one was true, to be honest, or if it was a Bible story or it becomes folklore of what between Solomon and David, one of their wives slept and rolled over their baby while they were sleeping and then swapped it for one of the other wives' child. Hey, dog. What I'm saying is,
me, I don't know what Nollywood Bible you're reading there, but me personally, I will not co-sign that one.
You know what? Some of these stories, they look wild. Like one day, just sit down and read the Bible like a novel. I got as far as, it's just that I forget the names of some of the books, but deep into the Old Testament.
Senna, you guys didn't do the because we had Sabbath school, so I'm sure you guys had Sunday school where you had the quizzes. Like we were drilled, bro. We had a quiz on the Old Testament you had to know from start to finish, and the New Testament you needed to know all the books of the New Testament. So yeah, just like you know your ABCs.
Yeah, catechism in the Catholic Church was focused heavily on the New Testament. Very heavy on the New Testament, especially because even like at church, right? When they read the gospel is from the New Testament. And some of the readings, most of them are taken from the New Testament. From time to time, in very specific instances, yes, you will get Old Testament readings, but for the most part, I don't know who decides or how it's decided, but New Testament is kind of what we were taught the most, Jesus and his stories. And then Old Testament is kind of, okay, this tells the story of how we got to Jesus. Do you get what I mean? So all the other subplots, the other sub narratives, we never really got into them. So sometimes I pick up the Bible and I read it and I'm like, oh, they didn't teach us this at school. I'm like, this is wild. You know?
Yeah, I know.
Like Oguti, God, I don't know, did he kill someone for pulling out on time? Like, no, you're wasting seed.
Sin. What is this? What?
Thabo.
You
You don't know about that story.
Give me GPS, dog. You need to give me GPS because what? What are you talking about?
You think I'm joking? Let me pull this out.
What? He did what?
Right. Onan. So this guy Onan. So Wikipedia says Onan was a figure detailed in the book of Genesis, chapter 38. He was the second son of Judah, who married the daughter of Shua, the Canaanite. Onan had an older brother, and a younger brother, Shelah. Right. After being commanded by his father, Judah, to perform his duty as a husband's brother, according to the custom of levirate marriage, with the late wife Tamar. So his brother had passed away, and his wife Tamar was the one who was left, and then Onan then had to have sex with her. You know, I think there's many traditions where the stuff happens where your brother dies, and then you must impregnate the wife to keep the family Doni alive. Onan instead refused to perform his duty as a levirate and spilled his seed on the ground whenever he went in, because the offspring would not be his, and was that put to death by Yahweh.
Yahweh being God.
Yeah.
I think that's the Jewish say refer to him as Yahweh, I believe.
Yeah.
See, I
thought I was making it up.
I corner Wikipedia.
No, okay, fine. It's in the Bible. They literally, so Wikipedia says Genesis chapter 38, verses 8 to 10.
That would be the episode title, guys. Genesis 38. This one.
Verses 8 to 10.
8 to 10. All right. Sabata is tomorrow. We'll come back next week and we'll confirm.
I'm surprised. You didn't know it was a sin to pull out.
Bruh. I had no idea.
No, STA owns anything after pork and Javela leaves.
No, that's rude. No. That's actually rude. That's so rude. Wow.
Folks. I'm sorry to Mr. Maps and all the SDAs listening.
Guys, I need SDA Twitter to pull up on Senna and call him all types of names because this is unacceptable. What do you mean? All right, cool. Anyway, let's move on, bro.
Yeah.
Nah, that's wild. That is actually so foul. But okay. Let's do a quick side note here. To cook a bit of footy. Just one thing, because this came out a while ago. I'm pretty sure you're aware, but you'll just need to fill in some blanks. Endrick, you know Endrick, yeah? This young talent from Brazil, now plays for Real Madrid, was asked either who are his favorite players of all time or who does he look up to. And this dude, guys, Endrick is all of what, 16 years old, right? He's like 16, 17 years old. 17 years old. 17-year-old kid, he's a 2K, right? And he says that his favorite players of all time are Sir Bobby Charlton. And who was the other one? Do you remember who the other one was?
Bobby Charlton, Pele, and someone else. I forget. Di Stefano.
Really?
I think Di Stefano.
So, the quote is,
and that guy, I think he said his parents almost named him Di Stefano.
Yeah. Like, guys, I think the only thing that I wanted to just point out here is, Singabanta Batala, right? And Look, Senna and I are almost twice his age, almost twice his age. And Senna probably would, right? Probably Charlton was a United player, right? If I'm not mistaken, was he
As a
United?
United legend, yeah. As
United
a
legend.
United
Okay, so
legend.
you might know what he looks like. I have no idea what Sir Bobby Charlton looks like. I've heard of it. Like, so how much tape has Endrick seen of Sir Bobby Charlton in his heyday? We cannot even find Kareem's 100 point, 103 point scoring game. Not Kareem, Wilt Chamberlain. And you're trying to tell me that there's someone walking around this earth at 2K nonetheless, saying that Sir Bobby Charlton is his idol.
Mhm.
I don't know, man. Like that's
Yeah.
I don't know. Like if literally all the guys, basketball players, football players of this age, I'm a 2K to love with. If it's a football player, they'll say Messi, they'll say Ronaldo, or they'll say Fat Ronaldo, or like it's within 90s
Yeah.
era type of thing.
Yeah.
Maybe 80s. Blair was born in the 80s, right? But no, not Tuti. His prime was in the 80s. There ain't nothing like right now. The players in the NBA, oh
Yeah.
my idols, Steph, Kobe, Kevin Durant, Jordan. Like that era. Magic Johnson is as far as it's allowed to go back. Right, you can't be
Mm-hmm.
coming in here talking about freaking who's this guy? The logo of the NBA. Jerry West is your idol. Like, come on, dog. Aye, aye,
Yeah,
aye,
bro.
aye, aye,
No,
aye.
although so part of me with Enric, so it feels like it's a curated sort of image. So from when he was
Mm,
playing last season in Brazil,
mm,
if you saw like the pictures that were being taken of him,
mm.
like they would be filtered and then it would look like he's playing in like the 60s. And then there were even people who were putting his picture side by side to Pele to be like, oh yeah, it was really weird.
They're already preparing
so
the
I think
documentary.
so I think his whole brand is going to be, oh no, I'm in tune with the old school legends of the game. I'm in
That's just
tune with.
weird, man.
I don't think it's weird. I think it's
Nah,
cool if
imagine
that's
who's
if
who's
that's
that
the way he
Spanish
goes
kid?
about it.
Who's the Spanish kid? This one who lit the Euros on fire. This one with the braces. Talking about
Yeah, Lamine Yamal.
Lamal. So Yamal. Like imagine Endrick pulling up on Yamal on some, hey bruh, like so let's play FIFA. Yeah, I'm gonna use Bobby Charlton's team. Like what? Come on,
Yeah,
dog.
I'm
Like
gonna
it's
be Zico. Uh,
no,
do you know
like
what?
come on,
No, I
silver
think
cup
it's.
banana manga, guys. Like there was
Uh,
no need to lie. Like
I don't think he's. Look, he is
no, there's
lying.
no way.
Definitely,
There's
he's
yeah,
he
yeah,
didn't
absolutely.
watch a Sengri because if you look at Charlton's stories, like he won the World Cup. He won the World Cup with England in '66, and then I think he survived the plane crash with the Busby Babes with
Yes,
United
yes, yes.
in the '60s as well. And then from there he just went on to be like a United legend. You don't tell me that all of that happened way before probably your own parents were born,
Mm-hmm.
and you're like, awe. Yeah, I was watching. Like, do you know how hard it is to find Bobby Charlton clips? Like just from
Also,
YouTube.
the
Now imagine
style of
finding
football,
film
dog, it's
that.
like, come on. British football back then was shepherd's pie football. Like, nah, guys, come on. Like, it's
Yeah, it
just,
was Sunday League. It was Sunday League. So I
yes.
look at it now. Like I really look at it now. I'm like, I look at all those players at Real Madrid. It's all very intentional, dog. The way they're all positioning themselves and marketing themselves. Like Mbappe, he's profiled as the best in the world. He hasn't really achieved much, but he's gotten
Nah,
there.
but at least he's there. He's got
The
the talent, right?
PR. Have you ever watched like Champions League nights last season when Madrid was playing?
Mm,
And I'll see a lot of people also made mention of this on Twitter.
mm,
Whenever England would play, if they whenever Madrid would play, if they played well, BT
mm,
Sports would be in Bellingham's face. Yeah, Jude, you guys did so well. Fantastic game from you. That time he's played poorly, right?
mm.
Fantastic game from you. What are your thoughts? And then it's like PR, right? It's like PR responses, the answers, like everything is curated, right? You're not gonna have a Rooney scenario where he shouts at the camera or Drogba saying it's a fucking disgrace. Like these guys are at this moment in time operating as brands. And it's all about where you want your brand to go. If Endrick wants his brand to be, he used to watch Pele and Zico and Charlton and Di Stefano, then that's his image. That's how he's curating it.
Yeah. Anyway, Singagutin. Anyway, let's move on. There's something here that I had foreshadowed that I wanted to show you, Mr. Moy. Couple things that TikTok. I've stumbled onto South African TikTok because I've been watching clips on TikTok of Popcorn and Cheese, which is it's a pretty funny podcast. Paul Pops is actually, him and Titi are a good combination. And they added that other chick, I think her name is Farida. So I think it's a dope.
Is Thingy still on the podcast? Is Robot Boy?
Nah, he dipped and he had that. I don't even know what the actual story is with that whole Jazzic and that chick from Kaya FM. Some. So he stepped away from the podcast at that point. So he's doing his
own thing. Snap. Shame.
Yeah, I know.
It's
still. I was all what exactly happened, but anyway, let me go ahead and share the screen. Right. The basic information here, Mr. Moyo, is this individual left his wife about 2 weeks ago. This is the context that I have. Left his wife 2 weeks ago, pulls up back to the crib for reasons that are unbeknownst to me, and he walked in on his ex-wife, we'll call her the ex-wife, with another dude. That's basically it.
Okay.
But allegedly, he left the home 2 weeks ago, as in, saying Hamba, screw this type of shit. Right. So, and apologies, this is not a visual podcast, guys, but it's just a minute.
It is what it is.
Y'all will survive.
Excuse me.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. You okay?
You didn't waste time.
No.
That's good. Do you know she's married?
You left me.
Do you know she's married?
No. You left me.
This is live, by the way. Yeah? That's what you do. Bring men, fuck them, on the sofa. Same sofa that you couldn't fuck me. Let me say that a lot. Excuse me, boss.
Hey, boss.
I've got nothing against you, by the way.
Yes.
Just letting you know that you're in someone's house, someone's wife, with a condom on.
Did you not leave though?
It's just been 2 weeks, and I don't know if you know, buddy.
Did you not leave
It's just been 2 weeks.
Did you not leave though?
It's just been 2 weeks,
Did you
Tina.
not leave though? I begged you to stay with me. I cried.
Can I be excused?
You don't need to go. I'm not staying long. I'm just picking up a few things. But I don't know how your conscience goes, man. I've just been away for two weeks and you're already fucking my wife.
So, guys, this was the first time I actually saw the full clip. So I saw a part of this on Kandoro's podcast, and they were kind of dissecting it from their POV. So like I'd only seen the first part where he had just walked in, right? I didn't know. But the other owner's like, can I be excused? Oh man, so much.
Like I was like, yeah,
so much to unpack, bro. Like, wow. So I mean, obviously, right off the top, the first thing that you have to say is, guys and ladies, if you're gonna make a decision, bro, you need to stand on business, man. This thing of like, the issue when you are like, when you let your emotions lead you, is that emotions are temporary, right? So we don't know the context of what happened 2 weeks ago. We don't know the situation. But my man with chest left his wife, right? Hey, Ansakufuni, and he dipped. So it's like, to me, that the wife is the ex-wife is not in any wrongdoing at this point. Because she's just been left. She said, hey, I cried for you. And he goes, no, but what? So what did she do that's wrong? What are you judging?
It'll always depend. It'll always
On
depend.
what?
Always depend. It always depend the circumstances that led to him leaving. If he's leaving because no, hold on. If she's leaving because she cheated, for example, or she was cheating, right? And then in that moment he's angry, he dips. Still their place, I guess. Maybe they live there together. For him to then find another man in his house, it's like, my guy, what are we doing here? And the reason I say this is if that's what happened, then he can have good cause to be like, I come back 2 weeks later and do you know what I mean? And the only reason, no, it does. And it sticks because if you were in the wrong, right, with your person, right, and it's still, I guess, their place or his house, what are you doing having men over still when literally they just left you for that reason? That's what I'm saying. It depends. If
you've left her, you didn't kick her out. Like, listen, if she cheated, right? And like you said, let's go with your example. If she cheated and she's in the wrong and he left her because of that 2 weeks ago, kick her out of the house, right?
Yeah.
Because if you leave her in there, so just because she got found out for cheating, you've left her, right? So she's going through that of, I've been left. And then she decides, hey, baby, I've been left. He calls the side nigga back.
I speak as a guy. That's why I'm saying it depends, right? It depends on the circumstances that led to them splitting. Like I'm
going with your story. I'm not adding my own look. I'm using your own story. She's still not wrong.
What's
the issue?
No, then the issue is, all right, my guy. If he's left because of that, decency. Common basic decency.
I see 7.
Okay, I'm not gonna bring someone over. Like, especially no, but that's life. Life is about decency. You can't live your life based on black and white and hard and no. And because let me tell you now, what many people will then do with this story. Let me finish. What many people do with the story is they'll make it a matter of fact. So if they went together and he left, then it means it's okay. No, life is more complex and more nuanced than that. If it's because of certain types of reasons that he left, then it's not okay. If he just left of his own accord and he's like, I'm breaking up with you, I'm done, saying hamba, and then he just dumped her in the middle of the night station or whatever, then fair enough, do whatever you want. You've been left. It's up to you. That man is in the wrong. You don't owe him anything. But like I said, if it's a matter of she did something and then he left, even if she cried and begged, still, dog, 2 weeks later in what I suspect is a shared space or his house as well, because I assume they were married, because it's like another man's wife. Also, if you're still married, like there's so much about this where I'm like, no, man.
Nah. See, this is how I know you're really a lawyer, bro, because you're adding so much unnecessary shit into this.
No, I'm not even.
It's so
because what I said, no. It's not unnecessary. No, it's very necessary, because life isn't matter of fact. Life isn't black and white, yes or no, if then else. No, we're not. It's not a computer program. It's nuanced. There's feelings, there's perception, there's shared space, there's a marital agreement. There's so many things that come into it where you can't just say, since he left, then yes. That's a very myopic way of thinking about it.
Sen. Let's simplify this whole thing.
But life isn't simple. Why are you simplifying things that are... life isn't simple.
Life is very simple.
And no, it's not. It is not. Let me tell you now, if you ever dealt with someone who is breaking up with their wife, with their partner, long-term partner, especially if they live together, that thing is far from simple. You can try and simplify it for the purposes of this discussion, but in real life, it is not straightforward.
Okay, so can I just add my 2 cents here, Mr. So I'm just like...
No. You were so resolute and firm in that she's fine. I'm like, no.
Yes.
It depends.
Okay, can I explain? And for the purpose of our discussion, we will maintain that she was the wrongdoer 2 weeks ago, right? For the purposes of this discussion. So my thing is, right, she does wrong.
Mhm.
She cheats on a guy, right? Let's say they own that apartment 50-50, right? Let's just go
Allegedly.
with that. Let's just go with they own the apartment. It's his, it's hers, whatever, right? But
Mhm.
she cheats. He then says, nah, I'm not on for this, leaves the apartment. He could have done several things differently. When he's now over his emotions, right? And maybe he's coming, he said, I think he said in the clip, he's coming back to just get a few things, don't worry. Why not text or call and be like, hey, I'm coming back to the crib, and cool, the chick knows, right? And like you said, every human being should be a decent person. I agree with that. We should all be decent to each other and not, dicks to each other. Why not text or call? If you just show up, right? And it is a level of invasion of privacy. If you leave the home and you just rock up at the end of the day, like, it's not her fault for grieving how she's choosing to grieve. That's how, if because some people, like, there's weird shit, bro. I've heard this weird shit that people get into. It's like, it's just when you're trying to cope through being left or whatever. If it was you had a side dude this, yeah, you're gonna call the side dude back and try to get your mind off of it or whatever. That's what I'm saying. It's a simple thing. Like, give her the heads up and be like, oh, tell her, hey, bro, I don't want to see your ass. Send me my stuff. Like, there was no need for him to. And then it drama yonkele singing out, say, camera, hey, this is live. This is that. Bro, that is such punk behavior of.
That's wrong. That's
like,
definitely wrong.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, so it's hard to convince me that this dude was was the victim in this whole situation. If you're gonna come in, when you're trying to record people with, hey, this is a man's wife. When if we go with what we have, the information that we have, which is, regardless of what they've broken up about, they've broken up, right? Both parties accept that they've broken up, but he's seeming to still be like, yo, but that's still my wife. Legally, sure, yes, right? Because the divorce doesn't go through in 2 weeks. But like, if you've walked away and this hand has cried for you, and 2 weeks, yeah, and then you just choose to show up, nah, dog. And then what? Hey, this is another man's wife. Nah, get the fuck out of here, nigga. Like, that ain't it ain't yours no more, dog. Like, that's what I'm
No,
like.
if the conversation is about the recording, I
don't.
don't. If the conversation is about the recording, I'm not a fan of people who record very personal, passionate, heated, private moments. Those should remain private.
We've
right?
seen the clips on
So
like Twitter
that's
where it's like,
definitely-
even a wife walks in on her husband with the side chick, and then now all of a sudden people are being recorded naked. It's like, why? Like,
because okay, here's the thing.
why are we
when
doing
people
this?
go through, because when people go through heartbreak and you get hurt or whatever, one of the first things that happens is you want everyone to know that you've been wronged, right? Like, you want everyone to know you've been wronged. You want everyone to know you're in pain, and more than anything, you want everyone to know that this person is actually an asshole or a hoe or a dickhead or whatever it is.
But
right?
at the
So
same
that's
time,
why,
you're letting everybody know that you're an idiot.
yes, but in that moment, to be honest, we have the benefit of not being in the situation.
Yeah.
So we can take a step back and look at it objectively and be like, oh, actually, I see what you mean. Like, I actually get it. Like, you are out of line. But when your feelings are heated and it's intense, it's very easy to forget about ramifications. Even if you want the person back in future, right? Because you've humiliated them, you've humiliated yourself, and
yeah, it's done.
It's done, right? But what I'm saying is, if you've been married, right, and maybe it's our marital home, and then maybe you do me dirty, I leave for 2 weeks, there has to be something against now bringing men over. That's like unconscionable. Like, it's like, okay, my scent hasn't even left this house, already bringing men over. And especially if it's a vibe, oh, my guy, between me and you slept with someone else, and 2 weeks later in our house, you're now bringing people through, something about that isn't right. That's why I said it depends.
Your fault for leaving a thought in the crib. Like, that's the thing. Like, inja ingaguluma endlini. And then you guys still keep the house in the dog in the house, and then it bites somebody else 2 weeks later. Yes, it's your fault, because why is the dog still in the house? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's really not complicated. This thing is honestly not complicated. If my man,
but I think
what kind of hand that he had,
but like I said,
And then he dips and he's like, oh my God, how could you bring someone to the home? Like, someone had been coming to the home, which is why y'all broke up. Then, for me personally, if I'm in that situation, I'd have probably laughed because I'm like, I know, bro, you really don't like me, bro.
But that's why I said everything depends. Like I'm not saying she's in the right, I'm not saying he's in the right. But I think
he's in the wrong. In no matter you,
but I think you can't make that determination.
Situation, he just sounds like
he's in the wrong for recording. He's in the wrong for making it public. He's in the wrong for his behavior, and as far as this is concerned,
and for catching.
But I do think. No, people are normal, Maposa. Not everyone's Iron Man. Like people catch feelings,
bro.
Get emotional.
It's not about being. Like it's not about being Iron Man. Okay, fine. Look.
If you break up with your wife today,
if he wants to be upset, Senna, right? If he wants to be upset, it's okay, fine. Like everybody's entitled to their own feelings. Cool, right?
Yeah.
However, if you are brave enough to start recording people, it means you think you're in the right. It's not just because your feelings are hurt. It's because you believe I'm in the right. I'm a victim, and everybody needs to know how much of a shitone that you are, right? That's the general mindset. And what I'm saying is like, bro,
in that moment you're probably blinded by many things, including rage.
Nah. Me personally, like if I was that touched, like furniture's gonna move and I'm gonna team that on. Like that's really where I would take it because I need to get that like emotion out. But like other than that, bro, like what am I doing? Like it's just. I feel like again from a legal point of view, can she like sue for that?
Yeah,
I think so. Right?
You're not allowed to just record. Yeah, you're not allowed to just record.
People. So like now his dumbass is gonna get sued. Just imagine going to prison because you walked in on your ex, smashing another dude, and then you started recording shit. Aye.
And that's why I will always say, in that scenario, it would depend because everything depends. So it would depend on what the circumstances were when they broke up. It would depend on who was in the wrong. It would depend on the nature of their breakup, what actually happened, who did what to who. And if it turns out that, hey, maybe she was bringing niggas over to the house while he was at work, and then he breaks up with her, and then immediately as he leaves, she continues doing the same thing. It's like, how, fam? 2 weeks later, 2 years later.
But why is that surprising?
I'm not saying it's surprising. I'm not saying it's surprising.
Okay, why is it?
I'm just saying
if she did what you've convicted her of doing, right? And then she does it again 2 weeks later. What's the big fuss?
It's inconsiderate. No, so the first part is one is a bit inconsiderate of the person with whom you are still married to, and I assume it's a shared space. So it's like, dude, you won't even have the decency to leave the space and go do what
Tell
you
me
do
this.
somewhere else.
What if it's her apartment, but your stuff is still there, right?
Her apartment is so. Then it's like, okay, fine, we've broken up. 2 weeks later, as my wife, should you be what? You get what I mean? There's a part of it that's unconscionable. It's like 2 weeks later, you're still gonna be fucking other people already.
Yes,
like we're still
the whole reason. Like there was something with, again, we don't have the details of the relationship, right? But
that's why I said it depends.
But the point here is, for whatever reason, the locals didn't. You keep trying to prescribe blame to this woman, and I'm telling you that.
No, I'm not. I'm quite the opposite. Actually,
that
what I've said is I've laid blame on him for recording. I've laid blame on him for XYZ. I'm just saying you're not looking at anything else. Like you're okay, this happened, so he's wrong.
Yeah, but
like,
what I'm saying is, what's the big deal of smashing somebody else 2 weeks later? If him,
do you think it's not
man,
a big deal?
No. And here, let me be very, very specific about my point. If, as a man, Senna gets up and says, I am leaving the marriage. In no uncertain words, this is what Senna has said. Senna cannot be mad if he walks back into the crib and said person has moved on. That's all that I'm saying. Like, you cannot be
mad. But he can be. You absolutely can. Because people are human. Because people are human. You will catch. I'm telling you now. I can even throw the scenario to
lack of accountability, bro.
No, but it's life. Because people aren't black and white.
Why do you leave me? Man, my thing is very, very simple, guys. If you are not committed to doing what you want to do or whatever decision that you're going to make, do not make it. Like, personally, I try my best to never ever put myself in a position of it's done. Utabute. Because then if there's no wiggle room, right? If he said, no, babe, listen, whatever, we have relationship problems, right? So we don't know what happened. He says, we have relationship problems. I think we should spend 2 weeks apart. And he goes away for 2 weeks. Then walking back into the crib to her smashing somebody else is foul on every level. But if you leave the marriage, dog, you leave, not her, you leave the marriage. Oh, you expect it to still be waiting.
No.
Okay.
And let me put it this way.
Real.
Let me put it this way, because you're also assuming facts, right?
What am I assuming?
To an extent. She's the one who said, oh no, you left me. What if his whole leaving was, I'm just leaving the space, I'm not leaving the marriage?
Nah,
it doesn't mean necessarily
Then you must be clear. Then you must be clear, dog. Like, it's like, this is for a woman to have the laws to go and tease someone in your house. She knew.
She knew what? What if she was doing it when they were still married and together? Do you know what I mean,
that's
right?
what I'm saying. You keep trying to make it seem like she's the bad person, dog.
No, I am literally what I'm trying to do
on all levels.
You've pissed yourself on one part of this thing, right? Like you've pissed yourself firmly and said, he is wrong, he's done this, he's done that, right? That's where you stand. I am not trying to defend him and make it seem like she is the worst person. I'm saying, no, Maposa, instead of just sticking here and being matter of fact about this whole thing and saying, no, if then else, if this happened, then you can color. I'm like, no, people are more complex than that. People catch feelings. People are emotional. 2 weeks after getting married, like, dude, if you, God forbid, any of us separate with our wives, and then we see them with someone else 2 weeks later, we will catch feelings about that.
We will catch heavy feelings. Heavy feelings,
yes.
dog, right? But
and it doesn't mean
but at the end of the day, when you reflect, Senna, whose fault is it? Right? You catch the feelings, you're mad as shit. Whose fault is it?
But we don't know, right? We don't know the backstory.
No. Okay, let me add.
It all depends.
Let me clarify what I'm trying to say, right? If me and you are in that same situation, let's go with just what we know, what we've heard, and let's assume that this is the actual fact. Me and you have genuinely decided, for whatever reason, that's not important, but me and you have genuinely decided we're done with the marriage, and that's what we've communicated to our partners. And we've genuinely decided, and we said, nah, fuck it, we're out. And we did, right? Jiggy, 2 weeks later, we come back to the crib for whatever reason, and you see what you see, right? Yes, I agree with you. The two of us would be pissed because we're guys. We're pissed, right? However, what I'm saying, the next step in that logic is I'm going to look at myself and be like, yo, it's dumb as shit for saying that I'm out of this marriage. Like, that was on my part, that's stupid. Like, if
100%
it's affecting me to this point, or if I'm still in love with my wife or whatever, then I should not have said I'm leaving the marriage. I should have asked for space. That's all that I'm saying. But I'm only talking based on what was there and how it can be interpreted, right? All this other stuff,
but I'm also
like, hey, maybe this, maybe that. As it was, like you said, it could be a case of whatever. I'm just saying, from the video, the madam said, you left 2 weeks ago. She said she cried for him, and she said he left the marriage. Those are the facts that and again, I use facts loosely, but that's the information that we have. And based on that information, that guy he has no right, even though, yes, he does. Whatever. No. I'm saying
that's
he's
the reason
right to be angry. It's okay for him to be angry, that those are his feelings, but I don't think he has any leg to stand on to go around and be like, call his best friend and be like, dog, can you imagine? I walked into the crib and I saw that. No, like, if I'm the homie, I'm like, but chief, and you left it. That's literally my next sentence. You say that to me, I'm like, but Senna, didn't you tell me that you were done?
But that's a very, and that's why I said it's a bit of a myopic way of looking at it.
Hold on. So if I said that to you, if you came to me and you explained exactly that, right? You've told me, hey, Thabo, me, I've left the marriage, right? You've told me that. You see what you see. You call me and you're like, bruh, what the fuck? I just saw this, right? Like, and then I go, but Senna, you left the marriage. You told me you were done with her. Are you gonna look at me as insensitive?
Yes, I think so. I genuinely think so.
Aye.
Because it's like you've just looked at the facts. You're like, okay, so the facts are this. It's like you've not thought of anything other than just the facts. There's feelings. There's a relationship which maybe has been developing for years. There might be kids. It's a marriage. Like there's so many other things which might make that person feel some type of way about finding another person with his wife whom he's left
I think
in the house.
it's the hurt ego of a man that has seen his woman getting piped. That's it. I think it's as simple.
There's that too.
It's as simple as that. Senna, you and I are both guys. We local,
and there's that too.
Irrelevant.
No, but it comes into
it's just the ego of I would never ever, no matter even if I disliked my person, right? Like we break up and I just don't like her based on what she did to me, right? If I were to walk in and see that, I'm still gonna be pissed. Because guys tend to be very possessive.
And you have a right to be
so
pissed.
It's like,
and
no,
me, if I come to my friend,
no, I don't believe that.
No, and back to your example. If I come to you and I'm like, hey, Maps, I saw this 2 weeks after this, and all you can master is, but auntie, you left. Come on, my guy. It's like not looking at it, even in that sense, like you say it yourself, there might be an ego part to it. There might be a bruised ego. There might be a broken heart. Like, I don't even want to just limit it to just the ego. Might be a broken heart. There might be so many other factors. It can't just be Uguti because I left then. That's it, right? There's more to life. And I think there's more to how we treat people. Men and women.
Okay. I still do not agree with you, Mr. Moyo.
Okay, I'll ask you another question. One more question. Have you ever broken up with a girl, start dating someone else shortly after, and then had the previous girl be upset?
Yeah.
Or catch feelings or whatever.
Yeah. Like, but
is
I'll even okay, go ahead. I'm listening.
If she ever approached you and said, hey, dude, we literally just broke up, is your response, yeah, we broken up, so you have no right to be upset about this?
I mean, but technically speaking, yes.
Yes, Nick. I speak because I've been in a situation like that, right? Where you break up with someone, maybe not long after you start dating someone else, person X finds out, and then it's like, I'm upset. Like, it's insensitive. And I can understand.
Okay.
Right?
All I'm going to say is to you and the listeners, right? It's okay to be upset internally, right? Your feelings are going to be your feelings. All I'm saying is keep that shit to yourself. Don't be projecting that shit outwards, because then you don't have any right? Because at the end of the day, I'll give you an easy example, right? There's a person that I dated, right? We broke up, and maybe 2 months after we broke up, something along those lines, she went and smashed another dude. I was like annoyed by that. I was very internally. I was very annoyed by that.
If you came to me and you're like, Senna, this just happened, what response would you expect from me?
I'd expect you to laugh at me, bro. Tell me to move the fuck on.
No.
No, bro. The relationship is over. What do you want, guys? Like, what is a mourning period? How many years must I be celibate for it to be okay for you?
No, it's not even about years. Like, I'm not talking to you. Like, that's why I said 2 weeks is nothing, bro.
Yeah.
Can you think of what? Like, I remember what I had 2 weeks ago, last Thursday, right?
Yeah.
Like, 2 weeks ago is when we recorded the podcast. Yeah, 2 weeks ago we recorded the podcast, and you're like, this one, I'm going away next week. I won't be there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sharp. Cool.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can literally still remember our conversation from 2 weeks ago.
So what are you trying to say?
I'm not saying there's a prescribed length of time to these things. There isn't, right? But in the event that there's short periods of time, we owe each other as people decency, consideration, respect. Like, we owe each other so many things.
Senna, you're can't just be to say that and then say there's no prescribed amount of time. You can't be on both sides of that fence, because when is decent? Okay, so when is decent for Senna then? When is decent?
And that's why I said it all depends. It
On?
all depends.
On what?
Many things, right? Many things. Is it 2 weeks?
Okay.
Is it 2 weeks after? Listen, it can be 2 weeks after we sign divorce papers. It can't be 2 weeks after I've just left the house.
That's
what I'm saying. It all depends. All these things
an
are
average
relative.
divorce is how long? An average divorce is how long?
And that's what I'm saying. An average divorce can take a year, can take 2 years.
So 1 year and 2 weeks after, you're mad.
You're not hearing what I'm saying. You're not hearing what I'm saying. You're not hearing what I'm saying. Intentionally or otherwise. What I literally said was, all of these things depend. It all depends. There's no prescribed amount of time, right?
No.
The shorter the amount of time. No, I will have prescribed amount of time, right?
I want to go back to your point. I want to go back to your point.
Let me finish my point. Let me repeat my point. But the shorter the period of time is from when you break up with someone, I do think you owe them some sort of consideration, respect,
of how long in Mr. that process. Can you smash the next person? That is what we're trying to get to.
To be honest, even if you smash the next person, Nini, Ksasa or whatever, right? But be considerate in how you're doing that and how you're going to treat the other person and how you're going to move on or whatever it is. If it's a matter of Uguti, I'm actually being so for real. If you came to me after that had happened to you and you're like, yo, Sen, I broke up with this girl, she smashed someone else, I'm so upset. I'd be like, my guy, let's talk about this. How are you? She also should have kept that ish on the DL or made sure you don't find out. Also, it's like soon. Like it's so soon afterwards. Maps, sorry, hard. Do you want me to be like, Hunty, you broke up with her? It's fine.
Yes.
No.
Claim. No. Let's be accountable. Let's be accountable. Think about Tutuzana for bullshit, right? Because at the end of the day, we need to be all accountable. If Sena has chest enough to end the marriage, then my belief in my boy is that he has gone through all the emotions and he's sure of the shit that he's doing. That is my belief of you. So no, you come back I'll be like, guys, clearly you're not a serious guy.
No, but that's you. No, but that's you imposing very unrealistic expectations on people. People aren't like that. People have feelings, Thabo. People are considerate. People need to think about things a bit more than just so jurisdiction it's not like that.
Guys, it is like, and that's what I said. Sena, if you're tight on the inside, if you're emotional on the inside, and you come back to me and you're like, listen, dog, and let me put it in my case. If I was talking to you, right, I'd literally be like, Sena, bro, I know I've got no rights to be annoyed about what I just saw, but I'm annoyed, and that's why I gave you the story of me in personal experience. 2 months later, my ex is like, hooked up with another dude. I'm like, and I didn't say shit to her in that moment. I was like, oh, okay, cool.
And like I said, and that's what I'm saying.
Literally, the text is, all right, cool. And then we literally, I move on to the next subject, next thing, because to me it's embarrassing to be like, but me, I'm sad. What? Come on, guys. Like I left her, so I gotta stand on business.
But that's not the normal human reaction.
That is the normal human reaction. I told you that. I told you internally I was annoyed. I told you internally.
No, but that's not how. No, I'm not. No, you're telling me how you were feeling. You're not telling me how you reacted. The reaction.
So you're saying my reaction is not normal.
Yeah, it's.
What's the normal reaction?
Most people feel. Most people lash out. Most people get angry. Most people talk to someone. Most people will express, even to the person. Hey, my guy, I don't like XYZ. How many people do we talk to? How many people do we know? How many things have we gone through as guys where a breakup literally ends up being a messy exercise because someone's moved on and someone else is upset because it's like, dude, 100%. Like my corpse is not even cold. Like it happens so often. It happens so often. You're like, hey,
this dude is good to vala.
That's how it is, bro.
No, but okay, listen. Sarah,
they haven't even shoved you in the morgue freezer.
They haven't even bathed the body. No, but listen. I'm just asking you a very genuine question, Mr. Moy. I just need to understand from your side, right? Yeah. You said my reaction to what happened with my ex was not normal, right? That's what you said. in terms of just kind of being quiet and moving on.
Well, to be honest,
what would you
maybe
have
in that
done
context,
in my position?
maybe, and to be honest, maybe in that context, and that's what I'll say. Maybe in that specific context, maybe you're younger, it's school, it's different. You know,
But
like in high school,
still,
a
dog.
relationship starts today, it can end tomorrow.
Nah,
When you're an
not
adult,
even, not even, dog.
those same things can't fly, right?
Why?
Now you're an adult.
Okay,
It
tell
can't.
me.
In high school,
Let's
in high
do it.
school,
Let's do it
it
now.
can
Let's do it
literally.
now as an adult,
Mhm.
Senna, as adult version of ourselves. Same thing. It's been 2 months. You're chatting with your ex, and she says, "Yeah, hey, bro, me actually hooked up, with the nexter." Then what do you
Hey.
say? What do you say after that? This is the adult version of ourselves. What's your next message?
Hey, okay, I'm sorry. Not I'm sorry or anything,
I'm
but
sorry.
it's like my
What do
my
you
bad.
mean?
I wanted her to be like, I thought you were gonna be like, oh, I'm sorry for whatever. But it's more of a
Sorry
conversation
for
to be like,
what?
hey, no, I'm saying the way you move on through it. I didn't
Yes.
say sorry. I said I thought you were going to say sorry. But what I would say
Mm-hmm.
in that
You've just
scenario,
gotten the
it's very
text.
easy.
You've just gotten the text. Hey, so last night, me and John hooked up. It's the first time I hooked up with
Like,
someone since you, or whatever.
yeah,
Like,
and then
that's the
when
context.
yeah,
What
you
do
say
you
to
say?
her, look, if that's what makes you happy, sharp. But when you come to me, I'll be like, I'm sorry, Mr. Maps. I'll be like, hi there, my guy. I'm not gonna like make it seem like you shouldn't be upset about it. You can literally say to your person, no, look, I understand you've moved on. Sharp, cool. In fact, that's better. At least they gave you a conversation. You didn't like walk into her and John the next own at your favorite chill spot, now having dinner or drinks or whatever it is.
Yeah.
That would, I think that would upset you. But I'm looking at it from you've now come to me. That's when I'd be like, okay, Maps, sorry. How are you feeling? Let's deal with this. I wouldn't just be like, but then I'm chia or whatever it is. So you shouldn't feel some type of way. No.
Guys, add us and let us know. Am I being weird? Am I looking at this very black and white, very binary, as Senna is trying to imply? Or is that the right way? Like I said, you can be tight on the inside, but if you initiated said breakup and you left with chest, you take everything else with chest. Please.
But like I said,
consistency.
And what I said is context matters. If the context is that you harm that person, you still owe that person some sort of consideration.
Yes, no. Harm, we've left that. If you were harmed, cool, it is what it is. But I'm just saying, because what we had shifted to was you were just saying regardless, right? That there's a mourning period. If Senna up and left, there's still a bit of a mourning. Personally, I would be emotionally hurt and I might lash out if it's a case of she knows my favorite restaurant was this, I don't know, whatever. What's the nice restaurant in Cape Town? 12 Apostles or whatever. We used to go there every Friday for lunch.
Yeah.
And then I rock up to 12 Apostles for whatever random reason. Or there's a picture of you online with another dude at 12 Apostles, and that was our spot for years. Then I'd be like, nah, that's some rude shit. You know what I mean? That I would be annoyed by that, right? Because it's like, nah, like you and your person find your own groove, like, but also I'd just be like, she's just clearly she misses me because she's trying to recreate everything that we had, right? So that might be a little bit of an ego boost. But anyway, it is what it is. But
it is what it I've got a hard stop in 6 minutes, Mr. Maps.
6
unfortunately.
minutes. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Someone just put something
one more.
All right.
In your calendar. All right, we'll do a quick one because we've had this discussion before.
Yep.
But I just wanted to just make a few clarifications on this one. We're coming back to our screen share here. Right. Let me know if you cannot hear anything.
Also, let's settle this chat about inviting people to browse, specifically women, and then getting upset when we refuse to make pap and salads. You need to warn me. It's not expected of me. Akanyala, guys. Maybe if it was my boyfriend and I'm at his place, then they can expect things. But even them, they're asking for a lot. I'll make salad, not pap. Kotwa. You invite me, oh, hey, fancy, come to a bride, me, bring your friends. Then I come. Then all of a sudden it's manje, papa, as if it's this big dilemma that just, you guys know. And I want to eat rolls. And if you don't want to eat, warn me, please. Just be like, listen, we're going to have a bra, please come through. But then also cook pap. Give me the option to say no. Don't embarrass me. Because now you're going to put me in a hard spot in front of Pamgwa Bantu, and then you're like, oh, come on. You can make... For who? Who am I making pap for? No, man. Don't go check us. Go take a look now. Because now everyone's partying, playing 30 seconds, the games are out, and I'm here. Again, I don't have a problem with it. I do have a problem with doing it for strangers. Even my guy friends. Yo, guys, you have girlfriends for a reason. Not my gents. My one. When I get him. He won't put me in these situations.
Okay. So, like I said, we've had a version of this discussion before, right? But my only thing is, I've hosted a few brides in the last 6-7 months, right, at the crib. And kind of what stuck out to me is, and you let me know, because again, I feel like our bride culture in the South is a little bit different. But on this side, what everybody does is like, if I'm like, hey guys, I'm hosting a bride, everyone is asking, what am I bringing or what am I doing? Like, that's already a conversation that's being had ahead of time. Doesn't matter what you do, boyfriend, gabani, girlfriend, gabani, that's not relevant in the conversation, right?
Yeah.
But everyone is already, hey man, listen, okay, cool, I'm bringing desserts. Okay, cool, I'm gonna bring, jollof rice. Okay, I'm gonna bring whatever, salad and this. Okay, cool, those are ways on the spot. So it's like people already come into it. If you're being invited, if I say Senna, pull up, the next thing Senna says immediately is, what do you need me to bring? Not just, I was invited to a braai. I feel like in the South, it gives a bit of, oh, Senna invited me to a braai, I'm just gonna bath, get dressed, and show up to Senna's crib, because that's literally all that has happened.
In my mind, I agree with you. The way I think you guys, the way you've described it is precisely how it goes. It's like, hey, contributions. Just that when we're now here, and South Africa especially has South Africa has a braai culture, right? So it's not just, I feel like it with other people is like, with Americans, they have like a barbecue, and then there's this and there's that, and there's the big sort of patriarch is the one who grills the meat, and everyone else does something else, right? And South Africa is similar, where it's like, okay, the guy who hosts is the one who buys the meat, and then whoever woman is around will make the salads and the bap, right? It's almost like an expectation. Patriarchy did a number on the country. So it's like an unsaid, unspoken rule almost. Now,
so if you and your person host the braai, Senna as the braai master, and your wife makes the pap and straw, is that what you're saying?
Typically, that's what happens. And we don't even have like a discussion about it. It just happens. If we say we're hosting a braai, I will end up making the meat. She'll marinate it. She'll make the salads, prep the plates and everything. And then,
Senna, you don't marinate your own meat?
She does it better. Yeah.
Wow. She does it better. As a man, you said that out loud.
Oh yeah, no, my wife's amazing at cooking and seasoning and spicing. So
listen, hey, look at this guy turning this into a marketing ad.
No, but I mean, I'm not. But I'm not about to fight over that. So literally, that's how it is. Now, it becomes awkward when you invite new girls or girls who aren't familiar with anyone who's there in the braai. Then it's a bit difficult. Now we're like, how? Okay, what are the expectations? Because the modern woman will be like, Mina, they taught me at home not to cook for men. And then you arrive at a braai and you've got all these men who are expecting you to start wandering a size 4.
No, but can we flip it for a second? Senna, if you got invited by a female friend to a braai and she looks at you like, Senna, can you make the fire? Are you gonna be like, nah, you guys didn't call me here to make a fire? Like, are you gonna refuse?
It depends on who's there. If there's like another guy, it's like another guy's house who lives there. I'm not about to start touching his grill and things. No, you gotta let him lead. If you ask me, sharp, cool. Like I've gone to braais where like the host will be like, hey, do you mind making the fire and frying the meat? I'll be like, oh, happy to. But it was when I sing is Bambel, I mean, I myself unprovoked, no, less of that.
Anyway, all right, we gotta leave it there. We are out of time. Guys, it's good to be back. It's good to be here. Is what I would like to say. But anyway, guys, like the thing, subscribe to the thing, retweet the thing, and if you don't, we're inclined to believe you don't stand on business. Mr. Moyo?
Laters.